Scientists criticize Bill Gates' climate memo for oversimplifying threats. Scientists criticize Bill Gates' climate memo for oversimplifying threats. A recent memo from Bill Gates outlining a shift in climate strategy has drawn criticism from climate scientists, who argue it employs misleading tactics like straw man arguments and false dichotomies. The memo, published last week, suggests a strategic pivot away from primarily focusing on reducing emissions and towards addressing poverty and suffering in developing countries. The memo's core argument, Gates's 17-page document, proposes redirecting resources and attention to alleviating immediate suffering, arguing that global warming will not lead to humanity's demise. He also suggests that funding decisions in developing nations often require choosing between climate action and aid programs, creating a difficult numerical calculation in a world with finite resources. This viewpoint resonated with some, including former President Donald Trump, who hailed it as a correction to what he called the climate change hoax. Pushback from the scientific community, however, several climate scientists have strongly pushed back against Gates's arguments, asserting they misrepresent the scientific consensus and oversimplify the complex challenges posed by climate change. Straw man arguments and false choices. Zeke Hosfather, a research scientist at Berkeley Earth, countered that the notion that climate funding must come at the expense of poverty alleviation is a flawed premise. It's a straw man to suggest that taking money away from climate action automatically leads to increased aid, he stated. We don't necessarily live in a zero-sum world. Katharine Hayhoe, chief scientist at the Nature Conservancy, echoed this sentiment, criticizing Gates's assertion that global warming won't lead to humanity's demise as a misrepresentation of scientific warnings. Scientists aren't predicting human extinction, Hayhoe explained. Instead, we are warning that suffering increases with each tenth of a degree of warming. Daniel Swain, a climate scientist at the University of California Agriculture and Natural Resources, described the memo as hinging on an inarguably false binary, portraying a choice between a world where everything is fine and literally the end of the world. In reality, there's a whole spectrum of bad things that can happen in between, Swain noted. The wider context of climate impacts, scientists emphasize that climate policies have already helped avert the most catastrophic climate scenarios. However, even the current trajectory will lead to significant human suffering from rising sea levels, increased droughts and floods, and other climate-related dangers. These impacts aren't limited to the global south or impoverished nations. They extend to all regions and ecosystems worldwide. Swain highlighted the disconnect between Gates's memo and the realities of climate change. For example, the memo suggests that warming temperatures will necessitate pausing outdoor work during the hottest hours and investing in cooling centers and early warning systems. While everyone deserves air conditioning, Swain pointed out that many parts of the world currently lack this basic necessity. Gates' response and COP30 following the criticism, Gates clarified his position in interviews, suggesting his memo aims to present a pragmatic view focused on maximizing resources and innovation for impoverished countries. He acknowledged that those who don't believe climate change is important or who see it as an apocalyptic threat may disagree with his perspective. The discussion surrounding the memo comes ahead of the COP30 Global Climate Summit in Brazil, which provides an opportunity to advance the global climate effort. Hayhoe emphasized the need to address the climate crisis head-on, particularly by phasing out fossil fuels. Ultimately, the memo highlights the complexities of allocating resources to address both immediate suffering and long-term environmental challenges, a balance that requires careful consideration and open dialogue among policymakers, scientists, and philanthropic leaders. In essence, the scientific response to Gates's memo underscores the importance of nuanced understanding of the climate crisis and cautions against oversimplifying the choices and solutions required to mitigate its impacts.